Well, we did it, guys. First shot Needlefiber is finally upon us. Never thought this day would actually come. Now, a lot of you were probably expecting me to have a very overhyped reaction for Kershaw Needlefiber, maybe even have posted about it yesterday within the first hour of hearing the news. And granted, I would have had I've known that Needlefiber did indeed get confirmed. But when I had found out, it was about 2 hours after the news had already dropped. And I was out with my brother all day. And all that good stuff, so now I actually had time to digest and all this good stuff, so, I'm on Zodiac. I posted, for those of you who don't know, I'm part of the Zodiac page, and about a month ago, I made a particular post about, the 4 cards that we need that would be really nice to have before the end of Master Rule 4. I'll have the picture of it. Yeah, one was Scrap Wyvern, Great General. The other 2 were Raid Raptor Wystrix, the Raid Raptor Link out of Link Range 2, and Kershaw Needlefiber. Now, just not even 24 hours after I made that post, Great General and Scrap Wyvern got confirmed. And so I'm like, alright, cool. 2 down, 2 to go. Now we get Needlefiber confirmed. That's also good. Now we just need Wystrix. And we're all set. And we're set to have fun. Now, as I was scrolling through Zodiac, I also noticed a lot of people still have this, It's like people still have this anxiety going on with Needlefiber. They have this thing going on, like this trauma. Like it's still the most busted thing in the world. And now that would be the case, except, I don't know, we should have had this 2 years ago. It's nowhere near as powerful as it used to be. You gotta think of it this way, man. We lost Nightmare Goblin. Then we lost Firewall Dragon. Then we lost Dunbar Dragon. Then we lost Summon Sword. Followed by Rusty Bardies. And now Nightmare Mermaid. All these things that can fully take advantage of Needlefiber. They've all been banned. With the exception of the Guard Dragons. But even Agrippine is banned now. And the thing about Needlefiber is only as strong as the monster is going into. So if it's not going into anything particularly busted, then Needlefiber itself isn't that really super threatening. Now, granted, you can say the tuner monster it summons can create problems. However, we can pretty much gather that Glowbulb and Steam the Cloak are probably going to get banned. And I've come to accept that. I'm prepared for it, you know what I mean? So, there's one other thing I want to say. People constantly complain about Needlefiber being, it's just 1 card Boral Sword, 1 card Boral Sword. Though that's busted, it shouldn't come to the game. But that's basically implying that Boral Sword itself is a ban-worthy card, which is far from the truth. Boral Sword is only good going second. It's meant to close out games and OTK the opponent. So that whole 1 card Boral Sword argument, I don't understand, really, because Boral Sword itself is not a ban-worthy card, and Boral Sword doesn't set up boards. So that argument shouldn't even be an argument, honestly. It really shouldn't. So, now that Needlefiber is confirmed, there's a handful of cards that you guys should probably get your hands on. That I've been and got my hands on these cards years ago. When Needlefiber was even first announced. So, let's go over the list of cards, shall we? And these are all tuners. that we're talking about here. You know, because now the Needlefiber is confirmed. Again, every deck can play Needlefiber. You can play it either offensively or defensively in a more controlled manner, summoning things like Ghost Ogre and passing turn. Ghost Ogre's live on the next turn. That can serve as another interruption along with the Needlefiber itself, summoning things like TG Wonder Magician. So, yeah, Ghost Ogre, you should already have it. It's a generic hand trap. TG Wonder Magician, if you plan to play more control style decks, that is a card that you should probably get your hands on sooner rather than later. And if it didn't already climb up in price. So aside from those, what kind of tuners do you want to use with Needlefiber? I'm talking about tuners that you want to summon off Needlefiber and tuners that you want to use to go into Needlefiber. So let's start with the first one. Even though there's a strong chance that Glow Bulb and Blackwing Steam the Cloak are going to get banned, you should still pick these cards up in case they don't. Because if they don't, then you're looking at a nice $5 common Glow Bulb and $100 to $120 ultimate first set Glow Bulb, which I have my copy. You know, and I have a playset of Blackwing Steam the Cloak. Just chilling. So with those, you want to have those. Now, for some more tuners, Red Resonator is a good one. Red Resonator is a very good tuner because, one, it's like a Marauding Captain. It summons a level 4 or lower monster from your hand when you summon it. It's a tuner, so it can kickstart some of your combos depending on if the monster, your key combo piece, needs to normal summon or not. You know, if so, then that's pretty unfortunate. But if not, if your main combo piece needs to be just on the field, then you can go off with some combos, then use that Resonator later on and go into a Needlefiber and do your thing there. So that's pretty good. So some of the tuners that, but if your deck does need its normal summon, now I mean, it's an option, but again, extra deck space is so tight. But Sea Monster Theseus is still a tuner. Remember, that is still a card. You can summon it off Instant Fusion. It is a tuner. So it is definitely an option, but again, it takes up a spot in your extra deck, which Needlefiber will already take up another spot. Now, back in 2017, 2 years ago, I had bought 60 copies of Theseus for $1 a piece, 99 cents each. You know, that was a great investment on my part, and I held on to them just because I knew eventually we were going to get Needlefiber. You know, and I knew that Instant Fusion wasn't going to get banned. So I got a bunch of copies of Theseus just sitting around. Now, when Needlefiber got confirmed, I don't know why. I bought the 60 copies of Theseus with the Megatons that came out, so there was no mention of any Link Reigns at that time. But I figured Theseus at some point was going to start getting used because it's a good utility card. Again, it was level 5, it's a zombie, it's a tuner. You know, it's just a decent utility card just because of what it is, not particularly what it does. And then the moment Needlefiber was a confirmed card and Link Reigns won, and, you know, people started seeing what it could do, Theseus rose to about $5 to $6 a copy. You know, I'm like, oh yes, this is great. Now, right now, at the time of this video, Theseus is, it's bumped up. It's over $2 a piece right now. So that's, you know, I'm guarantee you as it gets closer to March, Theseus will start shooting up to about $4 or $5 a piece like it did before. And at that point, I'll be ready to start offloading my Theseuses. So that's a good one. Again, it makes it to where you can summon Needlefiber without committing your normal summon. But it does take up space in your extra deck, and extra deck space is incredibly tight nowadays. I still want 20 extra deck, man. Like, I'll be fine not getting Needlefiber if it means getting 20 extra deck. See, a lot of people argue that, you know, 15 is a good limit because it adds a skill. It puts skill in place for deck building, and it encourages, like, good decision making in terms of deck building. And that was true for a time, but now, it's, as I said, deck space is so tight now in the extra deck to where you're losing vital cards. We're not losing cards that would be like, oh, it'd be really nice if I had space for this card. No, we're losing cards to where it's like, bro, I need this card. This card is needed for my strategy. It's very needed. It is very necessary. But I cannot play it. There's literally 3 decks that I've been trying to build that I realize I cannot build because 15 extra deck is that big of a deal. I can't do it. Like World Chalice Tingy, it's such an excellent idea, and I've tried to pull off some combos, but I physically cannot build the deck. I need at least 18. I need at least 18 cards in my extra deck for the deck to even function properly, and that is no flex spots or anything. Again, these, it would be nice if I had space for this card. No, those are flex spots. Those aren't needed, vital, important cards for your strategy, you know, for your deck to really function properly. You know, that my Lunar Light Thunder Guard Dragon deck, it's missing like 3 very important cards. You know, so the deck is still like 75% functioning. It's not even 100% functioning right now because of the cards that aren't in the deck, that need to be in the deck, that I can't play in the deck. So that's a problem. You know, we're getting to a point to where extra deck is so tight to where, you know, decks can't even function the way that you would want them to function. You know, you're losing functioning pieces. You know, the missing puzzle. It's like putting a puzzle together and you're missing 3 pieces. That's what it feels like. But anyway, enough of that. Like I said, Theseus is an option, but it does eat extra deck pretty good. So now let's go on to some other tuners. Things like Jet Synchron. That's a really good one. In case Global gets banned, that's still an option. If it's in the grave, yeah, it requires a discard, but it's essentially your Global 2.0. Mecha Phantom Beast Oleon. Hey, hopefully the Mecha Phantom Beast Link Monster actually ends up in the dual overload, so I can actually play Mecha Phantom Beast. Because I was like, man, it'd be really nice if we had Needlefiber. That would make the Mecha Phantom Beast link so much more consistent. I don't know why they had to make it a link 3, but you know, I can, you know, summoning 3 tokens is pretty strong, but the fact that you're not even allowed to link summon the rest of that turn, you know, I feel like that counterbalanced itself to where it didn't need to be link 3. But you know what? I rest my case. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, Mecha Phantom Beast Oleon, Jet Synchron, more tuners that you can summon with Krishan Needlefiber. Any sort of Guard Dragon based build, you can summon your Flamvell Guard or your Galaxy Serpent to go into your Guard Dragon combos. By the way, you know, the Ib Needlefiber combos are actually possible at this point, assuming Ib stays in the game. I really hope Ib doesn't get banned. Like, at the very least, I want to be able to do some Ib Needlefiber combos, but, you know, and this is only a dream, but, you know, it would be really nice if Danglong came back. Can you imagine the stupid combos that you can pull off? Danglong is already able to level modulate and float when it leaves the board too. Like, seriously, can you imagine Danglong into the Ib Synchro, into Needlefiber, into Lib the World Keymaster? That would be absolutely insane. That would just be so much juice, so much combo potential going on there. But like I said, Danglong coming back with the Ib Synchro and we have Needlefiber now, that's a dream. That's a distant dream. I've come to accept it, but hey, I wouldn't complain if it happened. Like, I'd honestly rather keep Danglong banned if it keeps Ib in the game because, you know, Ib's a World Chalice monster, of course. So, these are my cards that I recommend you guys end up getting. Here we go. I pulled up my locals. I should have went to the Pro Play Games in Dallas since I'm here. However, I decided not to go simply because I would have been fresh out of money had I done that. And even if I make it to day 2, I'm moving to another facility for my job, and they want me to show up there on Sunday. So even if I had made day 2, I can't do it. So that's another reason why I didn't go. And I'm not a fan of the PPG, Matt. I know a lot of people are, because people love ghost girls, people love hand traps. I'll go ahead and put the picture up for you, those of you who want to know what that mat looks like. But I've never been a fan of hand traps. I'm not a fan of ghost sisters. I'm sorry. So that being said, let's see. Blow Up Bulb, Blackwing Steam the Cloak, Sea Monster of Theseus, guys. Mega Fan Beast Oleon, Jet Synchron, and Red Resonator. I already have my Resonator calls, my red Resonators, just chilling. So, you know, I can be able to play any and all options to turbo into Needlefiber. I already have all the targets I want to summon. There's also crazy things you can do with Red Rose Dragon. You can summon that with Needlefiber and go into your Garden Rose Maiden and then float into a White Rose Dragon, search your Black Garden. So there's combos I know for a fact I can do with that with World Chalice. So that's also something to look out for, you know, another combo deck. So yeah, guys, with that being said, let me know what you guys think. This is J Money, and I am signing out.